Gaudiau's divers find the Orient's rudder, 180 feet from the body of the ship. 36 feet long, 15 tons. A tremendous force has flung it here.
The Orient was one of the biggest and most impressive ships of her time.
The Orient is built from 4,000 towering oak trees. 3 gun decks, 250 feet long. She carries 2,000 sailors, soldiers, scholars, craftsmen. Napoleon's imposing war machine. Nelson has no idea where the French fleet is heading. He faces the near impossible task of finding Napoleon's ships in 1 million square miles of the Mediterranean Sea. Both fleets are armed to the teeth and trained to fight at a moment's notice. This musket is part of their artillery. With the British fleet, Nelson's strict regimen brings his cannon crews to a speed of 3 rounds every 5 minutes. That's many times faster than the French. The gun crews are trained by captains like Thomas Foley, Thomas Trubridge, and Edward Berry, a team Nelson calls his band of brothers.
Rudder up, boys! Let it go! Go back into it! Got a soft bump to the Frenchies! No, sir. You gotta fire! Fire!
Aboukir Bay is an eerie memorial. Shredded rope from the Orient's rigging. Human bones. Relics of sailors who travel on a ship that will become their tomb.
We're seeing the Earth up close on the Science Channel's Living World. Stay with us. You're watching the Science Channel's Living World. Coming up next, it's a whole other planet down here. Grab your wetsuit and hold your breath. Science of the Deep is next, only on the Science Channel.
The bow. Resistance becomes strength, becomes power. The power to change and reshape your entire body. This is Bowflex, an entire gem-in-one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance in any room in your home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. One simple workout. 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. You can target every area you want to work on. Upper body, abs, lower body, and even aerobic exercise. Bowflex is real. The results are real. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. For a free video and brochure, call or go online at bowflexdirect.com. Do the research, listen to real customers, then place your order online and get started. Working out with Bowflex is easy and it's effective. You can get results like tighter abs, firmer legs, stronger arms, and a great chest without stepping foot into a gym.
When I first started, I was 280 pounds. Now I'm 246.
I mean, I've had my kids even said, Dad, your arms are looking bigger, your chest looks bigger.
See, I started out at 215 pounds, and I got down to 160 pounds.
I lost 4 inches in my waist,
I gained like 2 inches in my chest.
My clothes fit me so much better. I feel good about myself.
I'm in better shape now at 50 probably than I was when I was in my 20s.
I'm just sorry I didn't find a Bowflex 40 years ago.
Take the Bowflex challenge and get the power to change your body in 6 weeks. Call right now for a free video and brochure. Bowflex, the power is yours.
In the wake of the terrorist attacks, America has truly come together.
Prayer services, blood drives, children collecting pennies. Americans responded with a spirit that underscores what's best about our country.
But we can do more. To help those families devastated September 11th, we should make certain a college education is available to each and every one of their children.
We can do that with your help. Call today and donate to the Families of Freedom Scholarship Fund. Helping these families will show just how much we care.
We're seeing the Earth up close on the Science Channel's Living World. Stay with us.
Hunting for Napoleon's fleet, Nelson acts on a hunch. He heads his fleet for Alexandria. On a foggy June morning, unaware, the British pass within a few miles of the enemy. Arriving in Alexandria, Nelson finds no sign of the French. Bitterly disappointed, he sets sail to continue the hunt. The very next day, Napoleon arrives undetected at the shore of the once great city. June 29, 1798. In a stormy night in a foreign bay, Napoleon faces the enormous task of disembarking 37,000 men.
When Napoleon arrived on the coast of Egypt, he decided to land his troops here, on the West Bay, larger than the East Port. The approach of the bay is very dangerous because of the reefs. Anyone but Napoleon would have hesitated to attempt this without prior scouting.
The commander of the Orient, the man in charge of the fleet protecting the convoy, wants to postpone the landing. But Napoleon, the risk-taker, overrules Admiral Brueys. The cautious Brueys fears a confrontation with the British. The convoy will stay in Alexandria, but Brueys wants his 13 battleships to move to a safer harbor. Napoleon is less cautious. In the weeks to come, Napoleon and Brueys exchange messages, debating where to station the fleet. Brueys favors Corfu, a safe point for dominating the Mediterranean. Napoleon wants the battleships nearby to support his ground invasion of Egypt. The fleet moves to Abu Qir. It is a fateful decision. To map the wreckage of the Orient, Frank Gaudio and his team use a device that they have nicknamed the Piano. It receives signals from global positioning satellites, and the information charts the longitude and latitude of grid points on the floor of the bay. Floating markers are reference points to the grid.
After the dive, each diver comes here and gives information about what he found underwater. We are entering the data in the computers in order to locate each artifact on a general map showing all the excavation.
0.20.
What have you found this morning?
This is a buoy.
Yeah.
Should be about 1 meter long, and all in copper.
3 weeks after disembarking the Orient, on the plains of Giza, Napoleon faces an Egyptian army, a third larger than his. He inspires his men to battle with brave words. Think of it, soldiers, he says. From the summits of these pyramids, 40 centuries look down on you. The French crushed the Egyptians. On the Orient, Napoleon's men suffer. Supplies are running out. 1/3 of the men are sent ashore in search of food and water. Admiral Bruet battles heat, dysentery, and tainted water. Bruet asks for help. Napoleon, victorious at the Battle of the Pyramids, ignores him. The Orient is armed with 120 cannons. Gaudiau's team now finds 2, precious relics of an historic battle. A short cannon, or carronade, lethally accurate to 1,000 feet.
We're seeing the Earth up close on the Science Channel's Living World. Stay with us.
You flip, but they flop. Now your pancakes are a mess, and all that butter and fat to cook them. There's got to be a better way. Introducing the Perfect Pancake, the world's first spatula-free pancake maker. Just pour in your favorite batter, close the handle, and flip it. Presto, a golden brown pancake with no mess and no added fat. Now flip delicious blueberry, fluffy apple cinnamon, or mouth-watering buttermilk flapjacks. Fast, easy, and without using a spatula. Oh no, you broke the yolk again. But watch what happens with the Perfect Pancake. 3 eggs over easy without ever breaking a yolk. Call now and get the Perfect Pancake for only $19.95. You'll also receive this heart-shaped pancake ring for a Valentine's treat or a birthday breakfast free. Call right now and receive this no-drip batter dispenser free. This incredible offer is all yours for just $19.95. Call now.
Call 1-800-813-4848 to order your Perfect Pancake for just $19.95. Make perfect pancakes and eggs without breaking the yolk. Call now.
Are you sick of getting kicked off the computer and fed up with missing important phone calls, all because everyone in the house is sharing one phone line? Not anymore. Introducing the Switchboard from Emerson, the revolutionary phone line sharing system. Watch, just plug in one phone line, then hook in your computer, phone, and fax machine, and you're ready to go. Hello. Then surf the web and get quick incoming phone calls while you're online, or receive a quick fax while online. It's like having 3 phone lines without the expense. The Switchboard works with any computer, phone, or fax machine. You could spend as much as $35 a month for an additional phone line. In a year, that's over $400. Or you can order the Switchboard for just 2 low payments of $19.95. Call right now and receive the Compact Tech Vac free. If you're not completely satisfied, return the Switchboard, but keep the Tech Vac as our gift. Order now.
To order your Emerson Switchboard, call 1-800-355-0606 or send check or money order for $39.90 plus shipping to the address on your screen.
Get ready to evolve, to look closer, to go deeper. This is the Science Channel, and the future is wow. From the minds behind the Discovery Channel and TLC, this is the Science Channel. We're seeing the Earth up close on the Science Channel's Living World. Stay with us.
Gaudiau and his team make poignant discoveries that conjure up the everyday life of 18th century sailors in the home they call the wooden world. The seabed is scattered with medicine bottles, small comfort in an era of amputation and rough stitching.
I think that the first thing we would notice about life on board ship in those days was how crowded it was. If you can imagine, one of these 74 gunships had probably 600 men on board. Incredibly crowded. The allocation of space for your hammock was 14 inches wide. Not 14 inches between hammocks, but 14 inches wide.
Each object tells a tale of history, of day-to-day life, objects that belong to people, now nameless and forgotten.
We have here some buttons and buckles. We have here also a very nice button with 2 cannons and an anchor. It shows that it belongs to a gunner. Some printing character. Napoleon took them on board to print his official declarations to the people of Egypt. And then we have this nice pipe. Yeah, with a face on it. It's intact. These are very few examples of what we are finding underwater.
A diver finds a gold brooch, a woman's ornament. Maybe a sailor brought it here as a love token. Or it might be evidence that women, too, were victims of the Battle of the Nile. Some French and English captains allow women on board as bookkeepers or laundresses. Even boys as young as 6 supply gunners with gunpowder. Nelson himself went to sea at 12.
Sir, I have been reliable.
28th of July, 1798. After 3 months of searching, Trowbridge brings Nelson great news. The French are in Egypt. The British fleet races to Alexandria, arriving in 3 days. Ships probing to the east locate the French fleet in Aboukir.
Zealous has signaled that the French fleet stands 15 miles away, in the Bay of Aboukir.
Months of training will soon be put to the test.
Yes, sir.
Late in the afternoon of August 1st, 1798, the fleet of 14 British gunships draws within sight of the French fleet in Aboukir Bay. The approaching battle will decide control of the Mediterranean and France's dream of empire in the east.
We're seeing the Earth up close on the Science Channel's Living World. Stay with us.
How would you like to be able to get any stain off of virtually any surface, guaranteed? Introducing the new Zap Total Restoration Kit. Professional strength restorers, each specially formulated to restore surfaces back like new. Think that ink stain has ruined your expensive Corian countertop? Don't replace it, zap it. Zap even works on impossible stains like hard water and rust. Cleaners only work on surface dirt, but Zap concentrated restorers penetrate deep down, restoring surfaces back like new. Zap is as easy as 1, 2, 3. On tile and grout, just spray it on, let it sit, and wipe it off. On vinyl and linoleum floors, just spray it on, let it sit, and wipe it off. Hard water stains on glass shower doors, spray it on, let it sit, and wipe it off. Watch as we use Zap on this old brass fixture. In just seconds, it's restored like new. Not even dried-on black permanent marker can stand up to professional strength Zap. Zap restorers are so effective, they're guaranteed to remove any stain from any of these surfaces or your money back.
With the Zap kit, I was able to restore all of the surfaces in my home. If I had to call in a professional, it would have cost over $10,000. I am amazed with the Zap products.
It would cost over $30,000 to replace all the surfaces you've seen restored in this commercial. But why replace it when you can restore it with the Zap Total Restoration Kit, all for only $19.95? Call now and we'll upgrade your kit to include a free sprayer attachment, 2 industrial Zap pads, a free bottle of Zap Colored Grout Restorer, plus a free bottle of Zap Wood Restorer. It's safe for any wood, any finish, even priceless antiques. But that's not all. Call in the next 5 minutes and we'll double your order for free. That's right, 8 bottles of Zap for only $19.95. Operators are standing by, so call the toll-free number or send check or money order to Zap Double Offer, Box 1234, Northridge, California, 91328. Remember, call in the next 5 minutes to receive 4 free bottles of Zap. Order now.
We are the Science Channel. We've changed our name, but we're still your #1 source for science TV. Stay with us.
Attention, people without dental insurance. Now you too can save money whenever you visit the dentist with the People's Dental Plan. This discount plan saves you from 20 to 50% or more on virtually all dental procedures, guaranteed. You'll save on cleanings, root canals, braces, fillings, x-rays, crowns, dentures, and so much more at almost 20,000 locations nationwide. There are no claim forms. Just show your card for on-the-spot savings whenever you go to the dentist. This affordable plan costs less than $10 a month and covers your whole family, so it could more than pay for itself your very first visit. But as a special offer, call now and pay just $4.95 for the first month, a savings of $5 off the regular price. There are no limits on use or on how much you can save. So save from 20 to 50% or more on virtually all dental procedures, guaranteed. Get the People's Dental Plan today.
Call 1-800-206-5544 for free information on the People's Dental Plan. Call now.
We're seeing the Earth up close on the Science Channel's Living World. Stay with us.
Sunset, August 1st, 1798. On board the Orient, Admiral Bruet learns that the British are approaching. Napoleon is in Cairo, snared in an Egyptian rebellion, unaware of the threat to his fleet, his lifeline to France.
The French were very confident. This overconfidence may have caused their defeat, as Bruet didn't take unnecessary precaution against an English attack.
Bruet is sure that Nelson will stick with tradition and not fight at night. As daylight fades, he realizes that he is dangerously wrong.
A spyglass. Maybe to Admiral Bruet or Captain Casabianca. He might have seen Nelson arriving through this spyglass.
Bruet faces battle without a third of his men, ashore gathering supplies. The British are closing in.
The Bay of Aboukir is very open. It is unprotected to the north wind, but it is protected to the west by a chain of reef which end at Nelson's Island. The bay is very shallow, about 10 to 20 feet deep. It was only here that it was deep enough for the French fleet to anchor, as the Orient had a 25-foot draft.
The French ships are cabled together to stop the British from sailing between them. In the center, the Orient. Bruet expects the British fleet to form an opposing line, but the British are about to break the rules.
The big surprise of the Battle of Aboukir was that the French were waiting for the British to attack them with a superior force, when in fact the forces were equal. The French had 13 vessels and the English had 14, with France having superior artillery.
Each cannon needs a team of 7 men to maneuver, arm, and fire it. Then dodge the recoil, a force of 9 tons. Cannonballs litter the seabed, remnants of a lethal, close-range conflict. Divers also find a dumbbell-shaped shot that could spin through the air, tear through the sails and the rigging. Even the smallest find is a significant piece of the past. A tiny cannon-shaped object, a gunner's tool of the trade.
A bronze cannon. A powerful bronze cannon. It was used to surely to test the powder.
Nelson signals, ready for action. Drums beat out the call to battle stations. Below decks, lanterns are hung to penetrate the coming gun smoke. The floor is scattered with sand to prevent it becoming slippery with blood. The British advance, the wind in their favor. But in the race to engage the enemy, the shallow waters claim the battle's first victim, a British ship.
The Culloden was the first ship in the line. She struck that reef and stayed there as a marker to prevent the other English ship to run aground. That reef is still known today as Culloden Reef.
Nelson has trained his captains to think for themselves. Now the time has come for initiative. On the Goliath, Captain Foley makes a risky maneuver. He calculates that there is just enough depth to slip between the island and the first French ship. He edges the Goliath in, around to the undefended side of the French ship. Drouet's line of battle is breached. His captains have no orders to counter such a startling maneuver. The French remain in line, obedient to a fault.
It was here where the battle played out. Drouet was totally paralyzed by Nelson's attack on the van of the line, which consisted of the ships in the worst shape, and the first two ships didn't even have their guns facing the shore.
The Goliath fires on the first French battleship. Unprepared, decks crowded, guns unarmed. Some British ships follow the Goliath. Others draw around the outside of the French fleet, trapping it in a merciless bombardment. Scorched timbers attest to a sailor's worst nightmare: fire at sea.
This was the most terrifying thing that could happen in a wooden ship in those days. Not just the fact that you couldn't escape from a ship, but the fact the ship itself was made of wood. It was held together by tar. Everything was highly inflammable aboard the ship. The sails were highly inflammable and so on. And not only that, but down in the hold of the ship were barrels full of gunpowder.
Nelson's fleet advances down the French line towards the Orient. His relentless training pays off. His gunners firing their cannons almost every minute. Nelson's ship, the Vanguard, moves in to attack. Two French ships swing round on their anchors and retaliate. They grip the Vanguard in a pincer, breaking fire. The seabed is strewn with vicious clumps of metal and bullets, evidence of the brutal exchange. As the enemies face each other, just 100 feet apart, a shot strikes Nelson's head. Flesh is ripped from his forehead. His skull exposed, blinded by blood.
Mr. Ludlow!
He is led down to the surgeon.
Do not let Admiral Rand. The men know you too well, sir. Barry? Sir, you're
The Admiral insists on waiting in line. He says, "I will take my turn with my brave fellows."
He thought he was going to die and with morbidity, which is quite typical of Nelson. He said, "I am killed, remember me to my wife."
Fearing he will never know the outcome of the battle, Nelson prepares himself for death. His flagship is being bombarded, and the Orient is about to fight for her life. The battle is far from over.
We're seeing the Earth up close on the Science Channel's Living World. Stay with us.
Do you wonder where Britney Spears or NSYNC got their moves? Here's your chance to get the inside look at how it's done. With Darren's Dance Cruise, the new video that breaks down the moves and shows you how to do them step by step.
We step back on our right leg and then move forward. It is definitely the best choreographer of all time.
His unique street-style dance steps have been featured in music videos, award shows, and concerts seen around the world.
Dancing's all about having fun. Now you can get down with my new video. Ain't no lie.
Now these fresh moves are available for you to learn on Darren's Dance Cruise. Plus, Darren will show you his brand new pop and lock routine.
I break it down so you can learn the dances at your own speed.
When you're watching this choreography, you just want to get up and do it with them.
Darren's Dance Cruise is not sold in any store.
This is going to be the hottest video you've ever seen.
To order, call the number on your screen or log on to MusicSpace.com. Must be 18 or older to call or log on.
Are you ready for the ultimate ride? Then strap yourself in and feel the rush of the Discovery Wings channel. Climb in and hold on as aviation's elite push technology past the cutting edge. Test pilots. Take a flight on the wild side, where success is measured in speed and adrenaline. Extreme Air. Get ready for the ride of your life. Test pilots and Extreme Air. Every Sunday night, only on the Discovery Wings channel. To get the Discovery Wings channel, call your local cable or satellite provider.
You're watching the Science Channel's Living World. Coming up next, it's a whole other planet down here. Grab your wetsuit and hold your breath. Science of the Deep is next, only on the Science Channel. We're seeing the Earth up close on the Science Channel's Living World. Stay with us.
August 1st, 1798. The Battle of the Nile is a night of horror. While thousands of lives are lost, small personal treasures survive.
A chain of a watch with 2 seals with the letter A and B, surely from an officer, and a gold watch pretty well preserved. You can still see the mechanism in it. It's wonderful.
On the floor of Abu Qir Bay, lost for 200 years, a symbol of honor and the ancient traditions of warfare.
We have here a nice navy sword. It's a pretty good condition. It's surely a sword of an officer. The handle is made of bronze, and the case is made of wood and leather.
Abu Qir Bay thunders with cannon fire. As Nelson lies bleeding in the vanguard, certain that he will die, 5 French ships have surrendered.
Sir, the French ship that engaged us, Spartiate, has struck. Here is her captain's sword.
Nelson is presented with the sword of one French captain, a symbol of surrender. The confined French fleet remains at the mercy of the mobile British. 2 British ships, the Swiftsure and the Alexander, bear down on the Orient's weakest point, her stern.
Other parts of the ship were built of very thick wood. The stern was pierced with glass windows and so on for the comfort of the officers. If you could get to the stern of an enemy ship and fire in there, you could do a great deal of damage.
Fires ignite throughout the Orient. Doomed but defiant, Admiral Bruet fires at the British with a pistol. Strafed by gunfire, wounded, it is his heroic final stand.
He refused treatment, and at 7:30 the drama climaxed, when he was cut in half by a cannonball and died.
5 British ships circled the Orient, now easy prey.
The more personal items, I think, are what touch me as a person. Makes you really wonder, well, who was the owner? Makes you feel how fragile life is. From the Orient, for me, the shoes is such a personal item. It really makes you think, oh, whose shoes were they? And did he die? You know, he probably did. So many people died.
August 1st, 1798. In the dead of night, the great French flagship, the Orient, meets her terrible fate. The explosion is heard 30 miles away. 10 miles away in Alexandria, the blast lights up the sky.
The French flagship Orient exploded at about 10 o'clock in the evening. The explosion was so powerful and the sound so deafening that the fighting stopped for 10 minutes.
They were rather horrified to see, even in the middle of a naval battle, many of them are horrified that such a great loss of life could take place all at once, because of course this was the days before weapons of mass killing. It was the days before machine guns and bombs as we know them. That so many people to be killed at once was actually quite shocking even to hardened seamen in those days.
Expedition artist Patrice Sandrin draws the first accurate picture of the Orient's broken hulk. Using the drawing, Franck Gaudiot pieces together exactly how the Orient exploded.
We have here the layout of the middle part of the Orient. This is what remains from the hull of the Orient. The section is 150 feet long by 50 feet wide. The stern part has disappeared during the explosion, as well as the bow part here. As a matter of fact, there was the powder magazine here and another powder magazine there, and when they exploded, everything disappeared.
Barely conscious, Nelson struggles to the deck to watch the shell of the Orient burn. He savors the victory and shows mercy to the defeated by sending a boat to rescue the survivors. His mission is complete, his fame assured. The violence of the blast leaves the copper sheathing on the Orient's hull crumpled and torn like tinfoil. John Nichol, a British gunner, writes,
"The whole bay was covered with French bodies, mangled, wounded and scorched. There were a number belonging to the Orient who had swam to the Goliath.
But still some hardy French continued to fight, and none more fiercely than Franck Gaudiot's family ancestor.
Amiral Duptitoir was badly wounded at this battle. He had one arm and 2 legs cut off by cannonballs.
Admiral de Petitpois orders his men to prop him up in a barrel of bran. He continues commanding the Tonon as his life bleeds away.
Of course, he dived pretty soon, and few hours after, the Tonon was the only boat fighting against the English, and they had to surrender, and this was the end of the Battle of Aboukir. This is Nelson's Island. It was renamed after the sea battle of Aboukir. Here were buried the 1,500 French and English dead.
After the battle, every ship's company in the British fleet gathers for prayer. 1,700 French have been killed and 900 British. The wreckage of the Orient tells a final story about the fate of the victor, Admiral Horatio Nelson.
We're seeing the Earth up close on the Science Channel's Living World. Stay with us. Sundays, the Science Channel explores a prehistoric world. It's a place to dig deeper, to uncover facts about the past, to see the creatures lurking in your family tree, and explore the discoveries science unwraps every day. See what turns up when you check out The Science Below. Enter a world of discoveries that are evolutionary. Find yourself face to face with ancient mummies every Sunday on the Science Channel.
What's your excuse for not getting the life insurance you need?
What's my excuse?
Excuse?
The dog ate my homework. Joker.
I don't understand it.
I can't afford it. Who would we call?
It takes too long.
It's too many questions. Too much to do. I'll think about it tomorrow.
If you have a family, you've just run out of excuses for putting off getting the protection your family needs. Just one phone call to Caverna Direct could save you up to 50% on term life insurance. In as little as 15 minutes, you'll be on your way to up to $100,000 of coverage. You could choose more, even up to $1 million. It's fast, it's simple. Getting insurance has never been easier. Caverna Direct is a member of the Aegon Insurance Group, one of the largest insurance organizations in the world. So we know a thing or two about insurance. That's why we're able to take the mystery out of the whole process. At Caverna Direct, you won't find all that insurance jargon, just plain English that's easy to understand. It's coverage you can count on to be there for your family whenever it's needed. And if you think getting coverage like this is expensive, listen to this. A 35-year-old woman who doesn't smoke would pay less than $10 a month for $100,000 of protection. Insurance really is that affordable at Caverna Direct. Just ask for your personal rate on plans from $25,000 to $1 million when you call. That's not all. Once you get your coverage, take 60 days to look it over. And if you don't agree we've made insurance easy and affordable, we'll return every penny you've paid, with no questions asked. One quick phone call really could take care of it all at Caverna Direct. So if you have a family to protect, there's really no excuse. Call Caverna Direct and save up to 50% on term insurance today. So, what's your excuse?
He doesn't have one. We're calling Caverna Direct. Now.
Call 1-877-235-7736 for free information from Caverna Direct. 1-877-235-7736.
There's really no excuse. Call now.
Every week at this time, explore the Science Channel's Living World. It's the place to see what's driving the forces of nature, for better or worse. Living World, one of the Science Channel's theme blocks.
The bow. Resistance becomes strength, becomes power. The power to change and reshape your entire body. This is Bowflex, an entire gem-in-one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 Health Club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance in any room in your home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. One simple workout. 20 minutes a day, 3 days a week. Bowflex is real. The results are real. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Call right now for a free video and brochure. Bowflex, the power is yours.
We're seeing the Earth up close on the Science Channel's Living World. Stay with us.
October 1998. The expedition to the Orient draws to a close. Frank Gaudio has mapped a site that opened a new chapter in world history. Spurred on by Britain's victory, other countries join in the war against France and Napoleon.
After the defeat, the French army was cut off in Egypt. This was a disaster for Napoleon, as his army could not be supplied with arms, men, and ammunition.
For another year, Napoleon fights on in Egypt. He blames the disaster of the Nile on Admiral Bruet. Then in 1799, he slips back into France. Just 5 years later, he crowns himself emperor. His life ends in exile and death at 52. Nelson's triumph at the Nile immortalizes him as a national hero and a genius of military strategy. In 1805 at Trafalgar, he again defeats Napoleon's forces at sea. Nelson dies in the battle. He is remembered for Trafalgar, but wood from another glorious battle encases the admiral's remains. The mast from the Orient.
Here we have an imprint of the lower section of the main mast. The upper section of the main mast has been recovered after the Battle of Aboukir by a British captain and was given to Nelson. This wood was used to make Nelson's coffin.
The objects Frank Gaudio and his team have found will be restored and studied. And he will return to Aboukir to continue his search, which has provided the clearest picture of the greatest battleship of her time.
You've discovered the Science Channel's Living World. You heard me, the Science Channel. You probably noticed, we've changed a few things. We've taken the best science programming on TV and given it an all-new look. Still from Discovery, this is the Science Channel.